Topping today's news, a major agreement reached at COP29 in Azerbaijan. The governing PLP set to begin candidate selections for the 2026 general elections. The man who stabbed his girlfriend while at work at Bahama faced the judge in the magistrate's court. And officials finally taking the rattlesnake sighting on Harbor Island seriously. I'm Jcn. This is your JCN Evening News. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a major breakthrough at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, where the Bahamian delegation is being led by Prime Minister Philip Davis. Mr. Davis has been pushing hard at climate change conferences for agreement on international carbon market standards. That has now been achieved as world leaders reached a consensus on the standards for Article 6.4 and a dynamic mechanism to update them. Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change deals with carbon credits, and this is expected to be a game-changing tool to direct resources to the developing world and help countries like the Bahamas save up to $250 billion a year when implementing climate plans. During his remarks today at COP29, Prime Minister Davis spoke to the focus of the COP29 meeting, which is transparency on climate reporting. He said the Bahamas is actively preparing for this new era of accountability. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darwell, and his team are also at COP29. Climate change has a significant impact on human health as it increases the risk for the spread of diseases, physical and mental challenges, and healthcare facility overcrowding. The Bahamas Health Delegation will also showcase the Bahamas' commitment to addressing climate change. With the next general elections set for sometime in 2026, a few months ago, the opposition Free National Movement began the process that will lead to the selection of their best candidates. And now the governing party, PLP, is set to begin the process to candidate selections as well. According to party chairman Fred Mitchell, the PLP will begin the candidate selection process in January with a leadership module. All current members of parliament who are seeking renomination will have to participate. Additionally, all sitting MPs will be reevaluated on their performance in their various constituencies. The FNM is taking a similar approach. The PLP is looking to be the first administration to win back-to-back elections since the Ingram administration did it in 1992 and again in 1997. According to Minister of National Security Wayne Munro, the police officer who accused Energy and Transport Minister Jobeth Kobe Davis of hitting him with her vehicle reportedly attempted suicide last week while at a residence off Lady Slipper Road in Garden Hills. The 38-year-old officer accused Kobe Davis of the crime back in 2022 after he claimed he would not allow her to pass the barricade at a street carnival festival. During this time, he alleged Mrs. Kobe Davis struck him 2 times with her vehicle before he removed himself, allowing her to proceed. Minister Kobe Davis has since denied all claims and maintains her innocence in this matter. Meanwhile, according to officials, the officer in question has also found himself before the law for drug-related charges. In light of the officer's attempt to take his own life, the National Security Minister Wayne Munro spoke to the pressures of life and how difficult it can be sometimes to cope. He is encouraging all Bahamians to be your brother's keeper and pay attention to the mental health of your loved ones. The Ministry of Health and Wellness reporting a sharp increase in both suicides and suicide attempts in 2024. During his victory speech at the recent FNM leadership election, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard chastised the government for boasting about introducing a public school breakfast program. There were some who viewed his comments as being somewhat insensitive or misplaced. Appearing on the Rundown TV show with host Clint Watson on ZNS on Monday, Mr. Pintard sought to explain his position for those who may have misunderstood what he was saying.
The point I made is that here's a government that's celebrating. Their number one thing that they're celebrating is we have now put in place, by the way, free breakfast for Bahamian children is not a new program. I mean, free lunch program. We have a free lunch program for Bahamian children who are challenged. To add breakfast is a wonderful thing. No problems there. But don't come to a nation and you are patting yourself on the back for using taxpayers' money in many cases, or wonderful partners who will partner with government to provide our children with breakfast, but you are failing to assist their parents in an economy where the average parents would rather take care of that assignment themselves. So all I'm saying is, don't play games with us. Do a survey and ask parents how many of them would like to be employed. How many of them would like to no longer be underemployed? Families want to be empowered.
Mr. Pintard also shared his views on the Urban Renewal Authority Bill 2024, recently passed in the House of Assembly. The bill seeks to provide for the establishment of an urban renewal authority to help improve quality of life for residents living in those communities. Mr. Pintard believes it can be done much better.
In the case of urban renewal, let's structure it properly. That's what I intend to do. My administration will be different. In my view, we will achieve more. I raised the question, for all the bombing the PLP did in the House of Assembly on the desk around the recent establishment of the Urban Renewal Commission, they were doing this and patting themselves on the back at a time when we just had a triple murder 2 days or so earlier. And then 2 relatives killed, so 5 murders within the space of probably 36 hours. Urban renewal, like other programs when run in tandem with your partners, is supposed to help address these issues, to re-socialize our children in families.
The Urban Renewal Authority Bill is expected to help in the fight against crime, partly by providing positive alternatives for Bahamian youth. And finally, in this segment, after reports of a western diamondback rattlesnake sighting on Harbor Island over a week ago, and you're looking at some of the video that was shared about a week ago, officials are now finally increasing their efforts to protect the environment and protect the residents. After the initial report by JCN, we reached out to several agencies, including the Department of Environmental Health, and they were all seemingly oblivious to the matter or disregarded the seriousness of the situation. However, since then, the reality of the threat has been confirmed, and collaborative efforts are underway to create a plan to prevent the spread of this extremely dangerous rattlesnake that has Harbor Island residents on edge. A part of the plan is to first locate and remove the snake and then monitor the island for the next 2 or 3 years to ensure that there are no other rattlesnakes on Harbor Island. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after these commercials.